the longer I stay in Texas, the more my accent comes out. And so
Oh,
then I try to speak
what
Spanish.
part?
San Antonio, but that's just where I stay when I'm not on the road.
Oh, you're a truck driver?
No, no, I'm a political consultant, so I go all over.
You said you're a what?
Political consultant.
So wait a minute. So you're a traveling dick rider. Is that what you just said?
Oh,
Is that what you just said to me right now?
No, I'm the guy that travels and tells the candidate whose dick to sit on.
Ah, got it. Got it. Turn around for this one.
Pretty
No
much.
teeth with this one. Oh, my girlfriend is gonna hear this. She's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you talk like that."
Here's my headphones.
all right. I'm posting the link. Here we go, guys. We're
Oh
going live.
shit! I ain't gonna lie, I might get in the truck and go get me some smoke, bro.
All right. All right. Ryan, you ready to rock and roll? Matt, you ready to rock and roll?
Yeah.
All right. You guys have a smoke or a drink to start us off?
Oh,
See,
that's what I had to go to the store for.
Yeah, boy.
and I came home so early, but I can move around and do what I need to do.
Yeah.
I came prepared.
What you drinking?
Jack and Coke.
Ooh.
See, I blamed Matt the other day because only like up until a couple weeks ago was I introduced to Tech Nine, and
What?
yeah, tell me about it. Like, so the first song I started listening to was Caribou Lou, and I'm like,
Huh.
Yup.
all right, I'm gonna have to try this.
That's
Well,
Alright.
well, I'm blaming Matt's, ass for not telling the, lame white boy about good music. I was thinking over here thinking that Eminem was good. So forgive me.
Get this. So when I lived in Missouri years ago,
Wait, what part?
Columbia.
Oh, okay. My kids live there.
Okay.
I'm
My,
sorry to hear you had to live there.
I
Poor guy.
hated it, but I loved the rest of it. It wasn't bad. It was a definite needed change of scenery. But when I lived there, my next door neighbor was she's his cousin, and when she told us that, I was like, yeah, bullshit, whatever. Everybody's related to somebody famous, but
Right.
legit, every time he came to fucking like St. Louis or whatever,
Yeah.
she would always get us fucking bomb ass tickets.
All right, well, I'm drinking. Matt, you're eating. Ryan, you're smoking and drinking.
Yup.
All right.
Oh.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we had Caribou Lou for the first time night before last, and dear God, I couldn't pronounce my name. I couldn't walk right.
Yo,
It
who
was
just got their ass whooped?
bad. See,
I heard that
See-
slap. Put it down.
and this is why. Okay, so maybe
This is Pow
maybe
Pow
this will be the
House.
first. Let this be the first topic that we talk about.
Well, you see what I believe.
Should you spank your kid's ass?
Hell,
Fuck
motherfucking
yes.
yeah.
Man, like that's a problem nowadays.
Let me go. My bad. I apologize. I shouldn't have said that out loud.
No,
Yes.
it's like as a parent, Ryan,
Wow.
Matt, you guys got kids.
I'm in
Yeah,
parent mode.
there you go.
I'm in parent mode. I have to watch my mouth. Oh, is this math? Oh wow, I would chomp an edible and try to do some math. Yeah, I love math. That's math, but
How about if I tear it up and see if you like math if I tear it up?
that.
Is that how you like math? Tear it
So
up?
I'm gonna tell you guys a funny story. And this, I think as
And we're
parents,
walking.
we should do our best to punish our kids when they deserve it,
Yep.
but also embarrass the shit out of them whenever we can.
Every chance I get.
So
Every.
So
Come
funny
on.
story. I'll tell you. When I was in
Say
high
hi,
school.
Hi.
Hey, kiddo.
Hold on, you see the ugly one waving? There you go. Say hi. Wave again.
Hi.
Well, hello there.
Hi.
They're waving at you. Say hi.
Hi.
And say hi to the internet.
Touche.
Yep.
All right, down you go. Bye-bye. Uh-oh.
That's about what I sound like after I
Oh,
drink some Caribou Lou.
poor guy. Hold on, I'm on the phone, baby. What? We said
So, all right. So obviously, so we all agree on corporal punishment with the kids.
absolutely. Hold on,
Okay.
give me a second.
So,
Now here's the
I will.
biggest con to it though. Now I played devil's advocate. You realize that's a lot of why I don't have my kids is because I believe in corporal punishment. Great state of Missouri, right? Yeah. Oh, and my kids are half breeds, so I was down another notch there.
Oh yeah, you fucked.
man, I'm
You
in
heard it, right?
California. I can't even have a thought about punishing my kid without someone knocking on the door.
So like, I will.
Yeah.
I'll say
Bye.
I agree to corporal punishment for
What's up, bro?
children with this caveat that it only be used as a last resort.
Agreed. Now that I
Yeah.
agree with. That's definitely how it's used here.
Man, we're gonna have to find an internet sponsor for YouTube dinglings.
Actually, mine is fine. Mine is
Well,
fine. I'm just getting me some tea.
ooh. We'll find a sponsor for Ryan.
There it is. Yeah, Verizon is excellent. So if the Wi-Fi kicks off, Verizon picks up.
Nice. Nice.
I don't know what's up with that thing, but it keeps booting me off.
Hi.
All right, we got you.
Say hi, buddy. He can hear you.
There we
How
go.
you doing?
Oh, he's looking at his computer.
You still with us, Ryan?
Yeah.
You kicked the
Cool.
wrong one.
Cool.
Oh,
Okay,
Yeah, like I was
so
saying, like,
Your best
oh,
friend?
these are my
I
military
agree.
buddies.
I agree
Does he
to
play
whooping a
games
kid's
with you?
ass, but with the caveat that it's only as a last resort and only when the parent is not already angry. Because
yeah.
like
Oh, there
my
definitely has
dad,
to be cool down.
my dad beat the shit out of me. Like he was just an angry fucking dude all the time. That nigga would wake up pissed off, and then he would go to work and get pissed off, and then come
Wow.
home and we'd be like, "Hey, daddy," and then he's even more pissed off. So don't let me get in trouble while he's at work, because then he gonna come home already ready to whoop my ass. So like, and it's funny
Yep.
because like my dad just like last week is the first time in my life my father has ever admitted to legitimately abusing the fuck out of me. And so like I was taken aback. I was like, this man has never admitted to anything. Like he's never apologized for shit. But with my own son, there were definitely plenty of times where I had to take a breather and he didn't even get an ass whooping because I was pissed off. And so I'm like, you know what? I can't touch you when I'm mad, dude. You better be lucky. Like you better be happy. But
Yeah.
a lot of parents use it all the time. Like they use it too much.
Yes.
And that's the first, second, and third recourse they go to. And
So I can do
then
my homework?
you know,
you talking about homework that you knew you had when you came home and asked me about a TV?
I forgot that I have.
other parents say that's funny. That's real funny. But like, and then other
There we
parents
go.
don't have.
Well,
Go ahead.
oh, I just gonna say we'll mute Matt for a minute while some kids getting their ass whooped for not doing their homework.
Right. Like I definitely think
But,
it has to be a balance. Like there's got to be a balance, and it can't be used all the time. I mean, I grew up thinking that the way you show somebody you love them is to beat their ass. So, like that's not okay. It's not okay. It's not a good thing to learn. and it's not a good thing.
There were two times in my life where my mom slapped me and my grandma hit me. And one time I think I was about 13 years old, and I talked back to my mom and I told her to stop being a bitch. And I said that in front of all of my friends. And man,
Ooh.
dude, she like levitated up off the ground and swatted me. I mean, like, I'm lucky to still have teeth in my mouth. The other time, and this is where this one, I'm lucky to be alive. But because of these two examples, I'm a better man because of it. I made the mistake. It was maybe about 6 months after that. I stayed home sick from school, I was playing hooky, and all of my friends are getting out of school, and they're all riding their bikes outside. And I tell my grandma, I say, Grandma, I'm gonna go outside and play. Now, let me describe my grandma to you. About 6'2", about 190, 200 pounds, and she was a bartender her whole life. Like, she was an Amazon. And she told me, she said, Justin, you're not going outside. And if anyone's listening, there's a 4-letter word coming up that you might want to, earmuff kids on. I told my grandma, I said, stop being a cunt.
Oh!
Before I could realize the error of my ways, my grandma had crossed 10 feet like lickety split. There was no switch, spoon. There was nothing. No, she knocked me the fuck out. I mean, the fuck out. And you know what? I'm a better man because of it. And like, I'm glad that, that happened, because I needed that. I needed to get the ever-loving dog shit beat out of me in order to learn a lesson. And like, I'm a better man because of it. And so, do I think that should happen nowadays? Not so much, but I mean, did I deserve it? Damn right, I deserve the shit out of it. So
I think most of us who came from that, like, we can admit to the times where, yeah, we definitely deserved it.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have yourself on mute, Matt?
Maybe.
Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. So one thing I want to talk to both of you guys about, and I can have this conversation with you because I trust both of you guys. So, and Matt, you know my stance on this because I wrote people up on the ship for this. When and who is the use of the N-bomb acceptable?
Never, not in my house. Nobody.
Okay. All right, Ryan.
We don't even use it.
So, honestly, my answer to that depends on the mood I'm in at the time. For a long time, namely because of the way I was raised, like, it was never acceptable. It was not something that would come out of my mouth, and it was not something that I tolerated coming out of other people's mouths towards me. And then, I got real. There's a group of guys, a group of black guys that I'm real tight with, and we use it all the time. And it wasn't until I started hanging out with them and talking to them on a regular basis that I would even let that word come out of my mouth. And when at first it was real, I cringed every time I heard it or read it, and every time I let myself say it. I think it's really dependent on the person. Like, people who just don't like hearing it, I won't say it around them. If the environment is receptive to it, like, it is what it is. I think it gets overused. I think a lot of times it has the wrong context, and I think you have to be you have to walk a fine line if you're using phrases and words like that. Like, none of us use that in our everyday language. We don't use it around most of the people that we hang out with or talk to or interact with on a daily basis. But at the same time, we're perfectly comfortable You know, when it's just us or when we're roasting each other or just whatever, you know, it's gonna come out. And there's even times where I'll switch it up and I'll say ninja or Negro or something like that because
Like Snoop
sometimes,
Dogg, nephew.
you know, like sometimes I feel like I'm using it too much and I need to pull back. But I really think that's dependent on the person and the situation. Like,
Right.
I mean, I have white friends that say it, and I'm just like they say it, I'm just like, all right, that's funny, bro. Like, whatever. But it
Yeah, and
depends.
that's
Like, it's really dependent.
yeah, because I mean, I've got a few buddies, and I mean, man, they are whiter than freaking 2% milk, and they use the N word, and maybe for me, it's where I grew up in Northern California was a very, very predominantly white. I mean, I would say probably 98% white. No, probably 95% white, 4.5% Hispanic, and then a mix of everyone else. And so, like, the only connotations that I grew up with the N bomb was in negative connotations. Now, I'll admit I've used the term and I've used it in anger, and Matt knows two people in particular that I have reserved that term for, and they're the same people that had they fallen over the side of the ship, I would have not popped smoke, I would have not thrown a life ring, I would have thrown them a brick and said, "I hope you catch this in the face. Goodbye."
So let me clarify. Are we talking about ER or GA?
Educate me. Educate me. Okay, again, like this is the white boy that doesn't know the difference. Is I'm gonna need that racism insurance because I don't know the damn difference. And
Okay, so like,
you know what I'm talking about? Like, I mean, that
are,
video is funny as shit, but
are we
like,
talking
I
about
don't know the difference.
like are we talking about like I'm sorry for anybody that's listening. Are we talking about nigger or nigga?
So, okay, again, to the uncultured ears of this basic white boy, educate me, like, on the difference.
So like GER is, you know, that's what we've been called, God, since fucking the first
Forever.
one came off the damn boat. You know, it's a very
Yeah.
derogatory term. Yes, by the literal definition of the word in the dictionary, it simply means an uneducated or ignorant person. However, you know, words tend to take on their own meaning depending on how they're used. So
Right.
while the dictionary says it's an uneducated or, you know, ignorant person, what it means is a black person. It's a derogatory term for a black person. Now, GA, NIGGA, is kind of like, okay, so put it this way. You know how, I mean, it still kind of is, but it used to be really, really, really derogatory to call a gay person a fag.
Right.
And now within the LGBT community, you know, they call each other fag all the time. So, you know, they, quote unquote, reclaimed the word and made it their own and kind of took the sting out of it. NIGGA is the same thing. Yes, it derives from NIGGER. However, within the black community, that's kind of their way of doing what the LGBT community did with the word fag. They kind of took it, you know, just kind of made it their own. It's a very controversial thing, but
Yeah.
a lot of people, the question a lot of people have is, if it's okay for you to call each other nigga, why do you get mad when somebody calls you NIGGER? And the short answer is simply because while one word did derive from another, they are two distinctly different words. And they have different connotations. Like, if I go up to my homeboys, I'm like, yo, what's up, my nigga? Like, that's one thing. Like, what's up, my dude, my guy, my homie, my friend, my bro, whatever. But
yeah,
NIGGER, it has one connotation and one connotation only, and it has only been used to describe a certain group of people in a certain way. So it's still really controversial. It's still really, really it's a fine line. So when people say the N word, I always ask them, okay, which N word are we talking about? Are we talking about Nigga or Nigger? Because
Right.
Like Nigger, that's KKK riding in and burning crosses in my granddaddy's front yard. Nigga,
Right.
that's me and my dude sitting on the fucking corner just kicking it.
Right. So then let me ask you this. So as far as I guess maybe we'll kind of just go into the route of slurs.
Okay.
So I'm a white boy. I'm also fluent in Spanish.
Right.
And one of the more formative songs for me in junior high and high school was a song "Colored People" by DC Talk. So I'll preface it with
Bro, I used to listen to DC Talk all the time. I fucking love DC Talk.
So that being said, I also believe that there are people. So we'll use Caucasians for the first example, and Matt and Brian, I want you guys to chime in on this one. So we'll use Caucasians for the first example. You've got white people, you've got honkies, crackers, rednecks, and trailer trash.
Right.
Is it fair to say that other races have the same setup?
Hell yeah.
So with that being said, is it fair if your conviction says that it's fair? So Matt, I'm going to use my two favorite people from our ship.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
There
you.
we go.
I'm going to use my two favorite people from the USS Cleveland.
Okay. Your two favorite.
Would it be wrong of me to use a slur in relation to these two people based on my absolute hatred for them? Okay.
Absolutely.
So
wrong.
Ryan, I'll give you a little backstory. There's two people that Matt knows who I'm talking about in particular on
And I don't
our
fool with
ship
them either.
that truly, I mean, these are people that I can say with conviction in my heart that had they fallen over the side of the ship in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, I would have been okay with them drowning. But I think the Navy would have been better off without them.
Much better.
So with that amount of hatred, is it fair to say that I could use a derogatory term towards them?
Like
That's my question.
like a racial term?
Yeah.
No, that's never okay.
I would say no, just based off of my belief that like I don't care how much I hate you or how much you hate me, like I'm never gonna devolve to that level with you, so I would like you to not do that with me.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, there are plenty. There's plenty of other words that I can come up with in the English language to describe you without having to go the racial way. Because like once you start getting into racial slurs, once you start getting into racial slurs, like that's a whole nother level of animosity and just pure ignorance. Like
So then, my question for you is: does the slur show ignorance, or is it an attempt to cut as deep as possible?
Ignorant. Period. It's ignorant.
I would say it has
Because,
the
like in my opinion, I don't have any other terms that I could come up with to describe these people. And here's the thing, like I mean, I've got friends of Matt, Ryan. If you called me up at 3 a.m. and was like, "I'm hey SOS," I need you here right now. I'm either driving or I'm flying. And like I'm coming, and it's the thing is again going back to talk. It's 99.9% of the population. I don't see how much melanin they have in their skin. I see the content of their character. And for me, as a kid, opening up Microsoft Encarta in 1996 and hearing Dr. One day. My four little children will not be judged by the color of their skin, but the content of their character. So these two people I'm talking about in the military, I don't give two flying fucking shits what their skin color is. They're shit human beings. I just happen to use their skin color as a descriptor. Does that
No,
make me a shit human being?
that does not, but it makes
Okay.
It
you
doesn't.
that
It doesn't make
Like,
you
and
a
that's where
shit
like
human
I'm coming to you
being,
guys and
but
asking this. Because
like,
like
it
they're
doesn't make
shit
you.
human beings too, in my humble opinion.
No, write it correctly. I don't know what that
So
is.
if
but
you
it's not
like, if
this.
it's something that, if it's like a one-off, if it's like this one time I slipped up and I said
You
this,
see that?
it doesn't make you a shit
It's
human
gotta be
being.
something that looks a little
It
bit more
just
like
means
But-
that in that moment, it means in that moment, you failed to be your better self,
Very good.
and
Now,
you failed to
Mhm.
come up with a better descriptor. Now, if you're the kind of person who uses that shit all the time, like plenty of people I know and plenty of towns I've been in, then that makes you a shit human being. But if it's just like, if it's that one-off time and you blank and that's the only thing you come up with, then in that
No matter
moment,
how much
like,
they deserved it.
yeah, like in that moment, you failed to be your better self. There's plenty of things that I can say about somebody that ain't got shit to do with describing their skin color. I'll call you a cut nugget. I'll call you a twat waffle. I'll call you a dumbass son of a bitch. I'll call you the
Peanut
train
butter
that ran
slut.
down your mama's
Yes.
back. Like, I'll call you everything in the book before I call you
Yep.
that.
I got way
But see,
better words
someone
to
can
come
call
up with.
all of those. For me, someone can call me all those things. But the second they call me trailer trash or redneck, I'm like, oh, okay, well, fuck. I guess we're going outside to fight.
Not the same.
I mean,
So
Absolutely not the same.
it's
I don't, because I'm gonna put it like this. First off, oppressive words cannot be used against those who have never been oppressed.
I mean,
say that again.
Oppressive words cannot be used against those who have never been oppressed.
Okay.
So
mean-
the word nigger actually came from the country Niger. It was used to describe the people coming off the boat. That was the original Webster's term back in, I want to say, like 1360 something.
yeah,
Somewhere in that
way
area.
back
I'm
then.
a little off on the specifics, but the countries Niger,
Yeah.
Chad, Cote d'Ivoire, about 7 other countries on that western coast were
Yeah.
huge ports. Ghana, all those. They were huge ports for trade, from tobacco to cotton to rice to spices to slaves to you name it. If it went across a port, you know what I mean? If it went across the port, it probably came out of Niger, Chad, Cote d'Ivoire, or Ivory Coast, free Americans. Yeah, a little French for you, Justin. Get some.
It's Cote d'Ivoire for
I said
fans
Cote
of the World
d'Ivoire.
Cup.
Don't start with me. That's the only reason I
Cote
know it too.
d'Ivoire. Cote
I'm
d'Ivoire.
dead. Cote d'Ivoire. But yeah, it's like a lot of those ports were used to, hey, this group came from Niger.
In your book bag, zip your book bag up. Go
And that's where that word derived from. I had to go look that
I
up
mean-
one day. Like, I was so, like, it took me hours. And no, ma'am, can I have some more tea?
Oh, you got to do some digging.
Oh, you got to do some digging. Because to find
You got to do
earlier
some digging
versions,
into the actual etymology.
yeah, because to find earlier words, earlier dictionaries, anything pre-1870,
You can't close my door.
you're looking at a situation to get into. Thank you, my
I mean,
love.
like, I think about it this way, being fluent in Spanish,
Mhm.
the first time I heard this term, my mind exploded. I'm like, okay, I understand that there's English slurs, but holy shit, Spanish has got some slurs.
A
that
whole
blow
other
it the
language,
fuck out of
bro.
the water.
Like, wow.
The first time I heard someone use the term
Spanish one.
mayate,
Damn
I'm
beetle.
like, you've got to be shit. You're telling me you're calling a human being a blackbird that shits everywhere? Like, DM, I mean, I've heard of hateful slurs, but so far as I know, Mayate is like kind of the king of them all.
So the Spanish ones were all the ones that I learned first when I started learning Spanish. Needless to say, I was kicked out of class quite a few times in that first year. Like the very first day, we're like doing the basic shit like colors and shit, right?
Yeah, right, baby.
So everybody had a color and they just went down the line. And so it gets to my seat, and of course I got black in Spanish, right? So my dumb ass sits there and I'm like, Negro. And she's like, no, it's negro. And I'm like, hello, I think I know how this word's pronounced. It's negro. Like the whole class is busted up laughing. And like the teacher had to compose herself. And she's like, no, it's negro. No negro. And I'm like, I mean, I'm just saying, I've heard it my whole life. Until I was like 8, I thought my name was Negro.
Oh, man. Man.
I still think it is sometimes.
Right.
But then again, like I said, I live in Missouri, and I've lived here most of my life. And go figure, I went from bad to worse. I started off in Arkansas, moved up here to Missouri. Wow.
Damn, son.
You're right. When I tell you I went from bad to worse.
Hey, I
Lord
tell
have
you, man.
mercy.
Hey, you want to go to even worse? I tell you what, you go to northern rural Ohio.
Nope, you can have all that. All of that. Oh, my goodness. Anything between Toledo and Cleveland up there, from Sandusky, I'll never go to again. North Sandusky.
Yeah, but Ryan, I remember you were
Pembroke.
doing posts about a year ago. You were in Texas, I think, for a campaign, and you had the cops called on you like almost daily, dude. I mean, I remember seeing your posts, and like I wanted to go out there and beat the shit out of some freaking ignorant white people on your behalf. Of like, goddamn, dude's fucking hustling and grinding, and you're over here calling the cops on him. Like, Private Pile, what is your major malfunction?
Right.
You ignorant white people. What the fuck, over?
Oh, but I'm telling you, Ohio was the worst.
Really?
That was the worst campaign I've ever been on. That was the kind of place. So if you look it up, there's still a documentary on YouTube about Neil Armstrong's hometown. It's called Wapakoneta, Ohio.
Oh, I've heard of that one.
Up until about 10 years ago, they still had a sign over fucking Main Street that said something along the lines of, don't let the sun go down on your black ass. Like, to this day, well, as of a year ago, since that's when I was there, it's still the kind of place where most of the people would literally cross the street to avoid walking by me. Wouldn't make eye contact. I had a white guy that was working for me at the time. They would talk to him. They would look at him, and they would completely ignore my existence. Like, this was the kind of place where local shopkeepers who weren't like that would be like, yo, clearly you are not from around here. So just for your sake, don't be out on the street after dark. Like, Jesus. It's that kind of place. I mean, I spent 3 weeks up there, and the whole 3 weeks I saw one other color face look like mine. Like, I'm sitting there smoking a cigarette, and this dude walked by, and me and him look at each other, get excited, like, hey, brother! And just, like, he's like, you don't say
I know that
like,
feeling, and that's not
fun. Right? So, like,
that
when we
is horrible.
left that, this was the place. So, like, my firm had sent up some more people to help us out because I was understaffed. Mm-hmm. And they sent these 2 pretty little gorgeous white girls from Mississippi, right? So my black ass is walking around town with these 2 little white girls. And that made things even worse. Like,
girls, are you okay?
But Ryan, let's be fair for a minute. You've got the perfect skin tone with the perfect eye. Like, if I could, what's that white rapper where he switched places with the rapper for a day? You know who I'm talking about. Please, someone help me.
Probably do.
How much you need?
I was trying to get some stuff. I want to see how much.
Hold on.
But I only have money.
I'll find it.
But like, I mean, these people would literally stop in the middle of the intersection and just fucking stare at us. And
Jesus.
Like, it was bad. Like, I had one dude, we were all taking a break at this gas station, and this dude comes up, and he goes up right up to the girls, and he's like, "Are y'all okay?" And he's like super concerned, and they're just like, "Yeah, we're okay." And he's like looking back and forth at me and the girls, and he's like, "I just wanted to make sure nobody was bothering y'all." And so they stopped for a second, and they were like, "Yo, what the? Are you fucking serious?" Like, they went off. I wasn't even the one that went off. I was just like, I'm used to it, man. Fuck it. But the girls went off. So, like, I had to pull them back. And I'm just like, I had to have a conversation with my boss about why things weren't going as well as they could have.
Two little petite white girls with a black guy?
Well, no, not even that. Like, I didn't want to believe that that's what was going on. Like, I knew that's what was happening. I knew that a lot of these people were refusing to engage because of how I look. But I didn't want to believe that that many people can still have that kind of mindset. So I was coming up with every excuse in the book why things weren't going the way they should have. And one of the local shopkeepers, she kind of adopted like my whole team. Just like, she would take us out to lunch. She would sit there and like yell at the people who were staring, like, "What the fuck you looking at?" This gorgeous, this adorable older white lady. I love her to death. I'm still friends with her. But I had to have a conversation with my boss about what was actually going on. And like, my boss's face turned red as a fucking fire engine. And he's just like, "I am so sorry. Like, we didn't even think of that." And I'm like, bruh, it's northern fucking Ohio. Like, these are the descendants of the people who arrested, tried, convicted, and hung people who helped slaves escape on the Underground Railroad. Like, these are the people who almost seceded from the state of Ohio so they could fight in the Confederacy. And that's not to open up a Civil War debate, but this is the area of the country where the Confederate flag really means what people think it means.
Yeah.
Like, down south, I'm a Southern boy. Anywhere below the Mason-Dixon line, I don't give a shit if I see a Confederate flag. I can go up to them and start talking, and I guarantee you within like 5 minutes, I'm gonna have a new drinking, fishing, smoking buddy. But
right. But you get up into Ohio, that's where they use terms like pickaninny.
Up there, that's where it means what you think it means. So like, I would see that shit out there, and I know not to go there.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing to have people calling the cops on you. That shit's been happening my whole life. But to go to an entire town, an entire county, where almost all of these people are like that, and it's tangible, and it's physically manifested, and they make sure you know how they feel about you. Like, that was something completely different. I mean, that was something completely different. 25 years ago, I saw shit like that happening, but that was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, now it's fucking 2018. We done already had a black president. I'm sitting here thinking that shit's for the most part gone. Like, you ain't gotta like me, but at the same time,
but we got a fucking fried Cheeto for president now. So, I mean, like, so. Maybe this will be like the final argument that we have, or the final discussion that we have. Who would have been better to be elected 3.5 years ago? Hillary, Bernie, or Trump? And why? Go. Unmute yourself, Matt.
You gotta unmute me.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
All right, you want to go first? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Who would have been better, Hillary, Bernie, or Trump, and why?
Bernie.
Why?
Because I don't think he would have gotten shit done.
Well, I guess apathy is better than a little bit of backward momentum.
There it is. Because man, listen, Hillary, no. I figured
can we all agree that Hillary could die in a firing crash?
I'll put it
and
like
we
this.
wouldn't even piss on her.
I voted for Bernie, personally. I wrote him for president, honestly. and I kind of hate I did that. I probably should have voted for Hillary. I don't. I. It was kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. This past election, because you knew the third guy, he was going to be uninformed, under sponsored, and just not going to win. Like it would have been a Truman situation if that Johnson guy would have won. Excuse me, but yeah, other than some of their ideals, like I've never seen Bernie Sanders come up with half of the harebrained ideas that Trump and Hillary came up with. And I was okay with, having like a socialistic healthcare system. That makes sense to me, especially knowing how much my grandmother struggled, knowing how much my older relatives struggled, with healthcare. Um, Even after retiring from good jobs, stuff like that. It just doesn't. I don't know. Bernie would have been my pick. He was the lesser of three evils, and he's still alive after all this. I mean, I know he's like old as Methuselah. He is the older statesman of the three, but whatever.
Who is our vice president, by the way?
Mike Pence. Mike Pence, former governor of Indiana.
That guy. I probably just blocked that out of my memory. Okay, Ryan, your thoughts?
So, I am not a fan of President Trump, but I also don't hate him. Because let's be real, like all during my childhood, and I'm pretty sure y'all's too. I think we're all around the same age. That nigga was taking pictures with Jesse Jackson and fucking Al Sharpton all up and down the fucking country. Black folks was screaming to be part of his fucking entourage. They was all ready to be, known and seen with Trump. It wasn't until he started to run for fucking president that anybody decided he was fucking racist. Like, NAACP gave that man a fucking award. Like, he's stupid. He's dumb. He said some dumb fucking shit. And I wish somebody would take away I wish they would take away the man's fucking Twitter. I really do.
Yes.
But in terms of, oh my God, he's a racist. Like, that man has been, what's the word I'm looking for? He's been denouncing racism in the KKK, and his work, like the things that he does prove otherwise. He's been doing that longer than I've been fucking alive. So,
like his historical record.
Yeah, that. Hey, how's it going, man? So I'm not a fan, but at the same time, I'm not given to the hype and the hoopla about, he's this and that and the other, because everybody's quick to blame this quote unquote resurgence of racism on him. But if you look back and you really look at things, this whole, and it's not even a resurgence, it's just giving people a platform. All this shit started under Obama.
Right.
I'm not saying it's his fault or that he made it happen, but it started years ago. It did not start with the election of fucking 2016. So,
do you think that the DNC would have allowed Trump to run as a Democrat?
Hell no.
So
then, Trump is not. Trump doesn't.
Like, that's my point. I've always told people that the DNC was to blame for Trump being our president. Because at the end of the day, if the DNC would have backed Bernie, and then Bernie would have beat Hillary, because at the end of the day, Hillary was never going to beat Trump. Because they're both assholes. They are catastrophic assholes to the world in general. Like, they can be brutally honest, but still tell the truth, and no one likes to hear that. Bernie was the one that told, free healthcare and free education and free college. That's all fine and dandy, but who's going to finance that? Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Up until something happened. So Bernie a lot of people thought that Bernie was going to be a Democratic frontrunner. And up until a certain point, he was. But the DNC realized that Bernie was the feel-good guy. He was Uncle Bernie. He was the let's sit around the fire and smoke a joint and sing Kumbaya. Whereas you've got Trump on the other hand, and he's a fucking firebrand. Like, the guy is obnoxious and boisterous and loud, and you will definitely fucking hear him. You will know that he's there. Bernie did not have that presence. He didn't have that presence at all. And so the DNC realized that, and they were like, oh, shit, hold up. We need something that's going to compete with him. And so they shifted their attention to Hillary, and they eventually ended up rigging the DNC or the Democratic primary to favor Hillary because they thought that she could be the presence to compete with him. And in the popular vote, she was. The thing is, Hillary is very arrogant,
polarizing,
and yes,
you either love her or you hate her.
They're arrogant in different ways. Hillary is arrogant in the sense that she thinks, and her presence shows it. She feels that everyone should just come to her, that she's above everybody. She blew off so many states and so many demographics because she thought she already had it in the bag. I've already got these people's votes, so I don't need to go there. I don't need to show them my presence. I don't need to make an appearance. Whereas Trump was sitting there in a fucking Southern Baptist church eating fried chicken with everybody. Like, hey, I'm gonna give y'all my presence. I'm gonna show you. Like, I'm gonna show you attention. And
like, I mean, it was kind of like a real life Bulworth. I mean, at the end of the day, and you know, and so like I believed for the past 3.5 years, if the DNC would have backed Bernie, and if Trump would have beat up Bernie verbally like he did Hillary, that Bernie would be our president right now. I don't think
Bernie never would have won.
You don't think so?
Bernie never would have won.
I see, in my opinion, I think as U.S., even though we are the most powerful blah, 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 blah in the fucking world, we still like the underdog. We still love the underdog. And Bernie would have been the epitome of the underdog. And I think Bernie would have won the presidential election at least by a 70-30 split, in my opinion.
The thing is, we might love the underdog. We might love him on the football field or the basketball court or in the movies. But when it comes to the president that wins, 9 times out of 10 is not the underdog. The president that wins is usually the one that shows the best appearance, that has the best charisma, the one that has
Trump was the underdog until an hour before the final results.
No, he wasn't.
He
had it long before then.
I don't think people believed it. I think that statistics proved that he did, but I don't think people believed it.
Oh, they didn't. Trust me. We didn't. We were watching.
I didn't. I sure didn't. I took my kid and we went and voted, and I showed him. I'm like, hey, this is how you vote. You're an American citizen. You were born and raised here. You've got a birth certificate. You're an American citizen, and I expect, as your dad, I expect you, the day you turn 18, to register to vote. And this is how you vote. And we went and voted. It's probably about 3 miles away from here, little church with a huge gymnasium, and we went and voted. And
so here's the thing. Here's the thing about Trump, and while when he speaks, he's fucking stupid. But the man himself is a fucking genius. He knew damn well that
he's dumb as a fox.
That he was actually going to win.
Mm-hmm.
When he speaks, yes. But the man is a genius. He knows what to do. He knows exactly what to do. He knows exactly what to say. Like, a lot of the stuff he says is stupid. It is. But it's not stupid because he's stupid. It's stupid because he's playing the long game. He knows how to play the cameras. He knows how to play on people's emotions. He knows how to play the crowd. He's been doing it his entire life. So he knew that nobody would think that he had a legitimate shot of becoming president. And even as the results are coming in, as the electoral votes are coming in, and we're like, holy shit, the guy from The Apprentice and that made an ass of himself on WWF is going to be the fucking president. He was banking on that. He was banking on that. And while everybody else, all the pundits are sitting there saying, "Oh, he's not going to win. He's not going to win." He's sitting there in his fucking victory room, in his fucking war room, and he's like, "I got this," and he knew it.
Yeah.
Like, believing something is going to happen and the chances of something happening are two completely different things. Oh, it's going to be an even bigger shit show next year.
How many candidates are we up to now for the DNC?
At least 20.
And there was one guy that just threw his hat in yesterday morning for the Republicans?
Yeah, Walsh.
Yeah. He was the one that originally started the birther movement, right?
No, that was Sheriff Joe Arapio.
Yeah. Oh, Lord. We'll see. I don't think, I mean, in the 37 years that I've been alive, I don't think I will see such a carnival and circus that will be the primary elections upcoming. And
you underestimate the American electorate's capacity for self-destruction.
Man, do you think Hillary's going to come in?
Dude, I don't know. That woman, every fucking election, she's like, "I'm not going to run," and then just before things kick off, she's like, "Yes, I'm going to run." I don't know.
Yeah, that's scary.
But I mean, the thing is, and I said it back then, and I still say it now. 2016, whether we got Hillary or whether we got Trump, we deserved exactly what we got. We would have deserved either one. True. Because as an electorate, we have failed in our responsibilities to be educated and informed on the issues, and we have increasingly polarized ourselves down party lines. And everybody on both sides, both sides want to invoke the founding fathers. Yet you go back to the founding fathers, and minus fucking Adams, every single one of them was like, "Okay, don't polarize yourselves down party lines. Don't have a two-party system." Like, exactly what we have right now is everything that they warned against. And so the fact that we've completely disregarded the original will and intent and made it into this shit show, we deserve Trump. If we'd have gotten Hillary, we would have deserved her too, because either one is an accurate representation of American politics in and of itself. Yeah. It's an accurate representation of what we, the people, have let it become. Everybody sits there and says, "Oh, my voice doesn't matter, my vote doesn't matter, this and that and the other," but what they fail to realize, if you don't vote for these people, they don't take office. If they don't take office, they can't fuck shit up. So it's like we give them the power, and then we turn a blind eye because we don't feel like dealing with it. And then shit goes wrong, and we turn around, and we're surprised that it fucking happened. And then we want to get mad. Then we want to call for term limits. Like, no, dude. Like, you can't do that. So what we have now is exactly what we deserve. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, Ryan. I think we're gonna wrap this up, but I want to give you, if you want, the shopkeeper that you talked about in Ohio. If you want to give her a shout out and let people know about her, by all means, go ahead. If but if tell us about if you want to tell us about the shopkeeper, tell us. But otherwise, you got like 30 seconds. Tell us about what you do, your business, and what you've got coming up over the horizon. The shopkeeper, she's an adorable lady. I love her to death. She is such a sweetheart. She's one of the kindest, sweetest souls that I've ever met. Her name is Patricia K. Halbert. She's got a store, Just Maria's. It's a consignment store out in Wapakoneta, Ohio. If y'all are out there, stop by. Buy some dresses for your girls or whatever. She's just a great all-around person. And anybody would be blessed to see her smile and just speak to her for a day. Nice. And what do you have coming up? What kind of work do you have on the horizon? Right now I'm on an attorney general's race, so we'll see how that goes. We got a pretty good chance. All right. And do you want to name who you're supporting, who you're working for, or no? I do not. I never do. Do not.
you will take your American God-given right to take the Fifth Amendment. I appreciate and honor that. So I know our third musketeer, Matt, his phone died. So
Okay.
we'll give him a ration of shit about that later. But hopefully, we can do this weekly. And the last thing we need to figure out what the fuck we're going to name this. Are we going to name it the Veterans Chat? Are we going to name it? We can't name it the Salty Sailors because you're not a sailor. God damn it.
Fuck no, I'm not.
Yeah, fucking prick. So we got to figure out what we're going to name this. So, hopefully as we share this out to people and, people listen to this, we can figure out what the hell we're going to name this. So I think right now we're going to bookmark this as Vets Chat. So we're going to be here Mondays, 5:30 Pacific time. Does that work for you, Ryan?
Yeah, man.
Cool. So Mondays, 5:30 Pacific time, 8:30 Eastern Standard. We're gonna drink a little bit. Some of us might smoke a little bit. Some of us might eat a little bit. But we're gonna be here giving a veteran's perspective on what is important to us and what's going on in our lives, and hopefully get together, do this weekly, and just let everyone know kind of what it looks like from a veteran's eyes from the general population. So thanks, Ryan. Matt, I know your phone died, jackass. So but hopefully we'll have a couple other veterans, another sailor and another soldier joining us hopefully next week. And we'll have a lot of fun, do that next week and get some more perspectives going around for us.
Word.